Whether you are an e-commerce business trying to get a star rating for your product, or you are an independent reviewer wanting to get the same on your review article, one thing that we can agree on is that having a star rating on your search result will give you a competitive advantage and improves your click-through rate. And for e-commerce stores, it encourages more reviews and it boosts trustworthiness. Your customers or prospective customers will trust your products more. But the problem comes when you try to implement such a thing because the process might get confusing. There are rules that should not be broken, the correct schema type needs to be used, and many other things to take note of. So in this video, we will simplify the process for you, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be equipped with the knowledge to get a star rating for your website on Google search results, and of course, with as little technical terms as possible. Let's go. What's up everyone, it's Jack here from RankMath, the WordPress SEO plugin that gives your content the best chance of beating your competitors on search engines. We put out a lot of helpful videos as well to enhance that competitive advantage, so consider subscribing to our channel to get SEO and business knowledge delivered straight to your YouTube notification. Now, if you're already a RankMath user, you're in for a treat because more than just an SEO plugin, we provide lots of features and Schema Markup is one of them, which means you don't need an additional plugin for Schema Markups. And if you're not a RankMath user yet, maybe after watching this video, you may want to consider switching to RankMath as your core SEO plugin. All we want is for you to run your business in the most efficient and effective way without worrying about the technicality and the cost. Anyway, before we get started, if you're running a local business and you're trying to get a star rating for your organization, this video is not for you because it is a lot more technical and there are a lot more guidelines to follow. We'll probably create a separate video for you. This video is for you if you're running an e-commerce store and you're trying to get a star rating for your individual products, or you are an independent reviewer trying to get the same for your review article. Now, what you need to understand is that even if you have implemented your schema markups correctly, Google may still not show the star rating. But what we can do is to know that we have done things correctly and we will let the search engine do its job. With that said, this is what we'll be doing on this video. We will start with the Google guidelines because they are important and any one of us trying to implement a review schema needs to know. And then I will walk you through examples on all these schema types. After that, if you intend to collect user ratings on your page, I will show you the steps as well. And finally, we will talk about the review schema on products that you own on your WooCommerce store. Now, at any point of this video, if you feel you already know the answer or you think it is not relevant to you, feel free to use the timestamps in the description to skip ahead because this video is done to try to solve all issues, so only a couple of schema types may apply to you. So without further ado, let's start with the Google guidelines on the review snippet, the most important document to understand before implementing the review schema. There is a lot of information here, but I'll just go through the important points so I won't be wasting your time. If you want to go into more details, we have left a link to this document in the description. Now, the point to make here is that in the past, there was an independent review rating schema and you can practically add that schema to any pages on your website and it will work, but that has been scrapped. The new guideline is that the review schema is now nested under one of these schema markups, which makes more sense honestly. Most of the things that can be reviewed in this world probably falls into one of these categories and subcategories. And to implement the review schema, there are three guidelines we have to follow: the technical guidelines, the Webmaster guidelines, and a general structured data guidelines. For technical guidelines, what you need to know is that if you are collecting user-generated reviews on your website, for example, if you are reviewing a course and on your website, you allow other people to add their review and give a rating, you need to use the aggregate rating schema. Don't worry, we will go through this in a while. If you are collecting user reviews on a page, those reviews need to be displayed on a page for the review schema to work. You can only review a specific item and not a category or list of items. So if a website has a collection of courses, you will add a review schema to each of the courses and not a collective review on the courses. And don't aggregate reviews from other websites. In other words, do not copy and paste product reviews from other sites and mark it as your own. Reviews need to be collected directly from your website. For Webmaster guidelines, it is basically avoiding the gray and black hat stuff as you can see here. And as for the general structured data guidelines, you need to make sure that whatever you mark up is up to date. Whatever you mark up needs to be present on the page. For example, if you're marking up a movie review, make sure that you're describing the movie on the page and not some other irrelevant things like buy my t-shirt. The things that are marked up needs to be consistent with the content of the page. And basically, don't use schema markups for sneaky things. Only use schema markups for legitimate purposes. Okay, now that we know the guidelines, it's time for us to do some real work on our site. The first thing we need to do before everything else is to make sure that we have the Rank Math plugin installed. On your WordPress dashboard, go to Plugins and Add New, and on the search bar, search for Rank Math. And we want to install and activate this plugin. After that, you want to go through the setup wizard to optimize your site for search engines. But for the sake of this tutorial, we will not go through the process. We do have a detailed tutorial on that. We have left a link in the description. Now, on the Rank Math dashboard, you need to make sure that the advanced mode is selected. And you need to toggle this schema structured data on. Most of the schema markups are free and some require the pro version. I will mention that to you as we move along the tutorial. Let's start with the product review schema. Now for the product review schema, you're basically reviewing physical products. Things that are tangible. For example, treadmill, smartphones, home appliances, or basically anything that you can touch and feel, and there is a reason to review them. You should use the product schema. Now, this product review schema is not for e-commerce store owners to review their own products. Reviews and ratings should be awarded by real users or real customers. We'll talk more about that in the WooCommerce section. Now, let me walk you through an example. Let's say that I'm an independent tech reviewer or tech affiliate, and I'm writing an article review on Amazon Echo, and I have all these criteria for review, and I have an overall. Let me show you what we should mark up on this. For this example, we'll be marking up the review using the WordPress blog editor. If you are using, for example, Elementor or other page builders, the process is the same, but the location of our schema markup is different. Don't worry, I will show you where they are in a while. So on the WordPress blog editor, click on the Rank Math tab at the top right, and you want to select schema, which is the third icon from the left. As you can see, by default, the article schema is present. Now you need to note that the free version of Rank Math only supports one schema type, which means if you want to use the product schema to get a star rating, you have to forgo the article schema. But since you're writing a review article, it is good to have both schema types on a page to help search engines better understand your page. But generally, the search engine should be able to capture the information of your page even without the article schema. But for the sake of best practice, we will install the Rank Math Pro to have multiple schemas. And there we go, we have installed Rank Math Pro. Now let's click on the schema generator and search for product, which is right here. Let's click on it and you will see all these schema fields where you can edit the information. Let's save this first so that it's much easier for us to edit the information. Now let's click on edit. For the product name, for now it is taking the SEO title, which basically means Amazon Echo Review. So we want to change that to only the product name, which is Amazon Echo. As for the product URL, we want to find the actual product URL we are reviewing. This product could be on Amazon, Home Depot, or whatever. What we need is just the product URL. Let's copy this and paste it here. As for the review location, you need to display a snippet of the review on the page. So we can choose to hook it using a shortcode, or you can choose to display on either parts of your page. Personally, I like to design my page to have a review summary table like this, so I don't really need to display the snippet generated by Rank Math. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will choose to hook the snippet onto the page, and I will show you how it looks in a while when we are done with all the settings. As for the description, you should be describing the product in this view, but you can leave this empty if you want, because by default, if you haven't done any SEO adjustments, this SEO description is adapted from the first paragraph of your article. This product SKU, which means stock keeping unit, is more for logistic purposes. If you can't find this information on the page, just leave it blank. It is not a required field. For the brand name, since this is from Amazon, I'll put it as Amazon. For the brand URL, if you're on Amazon, you should be able to see the brand URL right at the top here. So you want to right click and copy the link and paste it here. But if you're reviewing a product that is not on Amazon, a good tip for you is to go to the page where the product is, hit Ctrl F or Command F to search the page and search for brand. Or alternatively, just search for the brand name on Google. Next, for GTIN, which means Global Trade Item Number, it is a number that uniquely identifies a product globally, and it is usually found on the barcode of the product. But how are you going to get that right? So for products on Amazon, you want to hit Ctrl F or Command F and search for ASIN, and you'll see some codes here. That's what you need. Let's go back and paste it here. If it is a book, you need to search for ISBN. And here are some other identifiers in case you are reviewing a product that is out of Amazon. Just search for either of these identifiers on the product page and you should be able to find a GTIN. As for the MPN, which is the manufacturer part name, it is a unique set of numbers issued by manufacturers to identify individual products. That's the theory, but what we consumers understand is the model number. So on Amazon, on most products, you should be able to see an item model number. For additional type, if you think there is another schema type that best describes this product, you can add it here, but I will skip this. At manufacturer, if you are reviewing a third-party product, you won't want to toggle this on because this will trigger some local SEO settings onto the schema. So I'll keep this off. For offers, I recommend that you leave this empty because you are not the one in control of the price and availability of the product. You are an independent reviewer, not the product owner. So all these should be skipped. And finally, we have the review. As you can see from the page, we have all these attributes that have individual star ratings on it. But we should only take the overall score and include it in the rating field. Do not be confused by the aggregate rating schema. The aggregate rating schema is only for aggregating user-generated ratings and not for all these criteria here. So for this case, the overall rating is 4.5. For the minimum and maximum ratings, we recommend just following what Google uses, which is 1 and 5. And we are done. There's one more thing we need to do, which is to hook the snippet. So let's copy this shortcode. Let's save this schema. And let's say that I want to add the shortcode right after this sentence. Let's right click and paste it here. Let's update our page and refresh it. And this is how the review snippet generated by RankMath looks like. Now let's test our schema. Let's right click and view page source, hit Ctrl A or Command A to select all, and Ctrl C or Command C to copy. And then you want to visit Google Reach Results Testing tool. Over here, select code, and let's paste the page source code here and test code. Now you will see 3 valid items with some warnings, but take note that valid items with warnings are still eligible for reach results, but those missing items will just not be displayed. As you can see, the review snippet schema is getting a green tick, which is what we are hoping for, and this is what we need to get the star rating on search results. And if we visit the product schema, you will see that those fields that we have not entered will show up as a warning. But as you can see, they are all optional. But what you need to note is that if you don't have the information on these missing fields, don't force a data on those fields. It will do more harm than good. Just leave them as it is because they are not required. So this is all you need to do if you're writing a third-party review on a physical product to gain that star rating on search engines. Now we will talk about software, which are intangible applications or systems that will make your life much easier. For example, RankMath. We make it easy for your site to communicate with the search engines. Now let's say that I'm a tech blogger and I'm writing a review article on RankMath. We have a couple of criteria for review and we have an overall rating. Let me show you what we should mark up on this. On a WordPress blog editor, click on the RankMath tab and you want to select schema, which is the third icon from the left. Now as I've mentioned in the product schema, if you're using the free version of RankMath, it only supports one schema type. So if you're writing a review article, we recommend to have both the article and the software schema to help the search engine better understand what your article is about. And as I've said, even if you change this article schema into a software schema, Google may still pick up your content as an article. But still, we recommend that you have both the schemas. So in this case, I have RankMath Pro installed, so I can add another schema here. Let's click on the schema generator and let's search for software, which is right here. Let's click on this. For the headline, by default, it is using the SEO title, which is whatever that you have entered right here. Currently, it is RankMath Review, Best WordPress SEO Plugin. If you're happy about this, you can leave it as it is. But if you want to take control of that field, you can type in, for example, RankMath Review. This is a required field as you can see from this red asterisk. Those that are not marked with the red asterisk are optional. For the review location, you can choose to use the shortcode or you can display it on either of these locations. But as I've mentioned on the product schema, as long as you display your rating on a page, doesn't matter if the review snippet is generated from RankMath, you are following Google's guideline. So choose whichever location you want to display the snippet. In my case, I choose not to display, so I will select custom. For the description, by default, if you haven't done any SEO adjustments, this SEO description is adapted from the first paragraph of your article, which is this. But if you decide to change this, we recommend copy and pasting a paragraph from your article that best describes the software application. This is to be consistent between the page content and the content you are marking up. And then for the operating system, technically RankMath is a WordPress plugin, and WordPress is a content management system, not an operating system. So we'll just leave this blank. And for the application category, these are the categories that Google supports. So feel free to choose what makes sense to the software you're reviewing. For this case, RankMath will be a business application. For offers, you can put in the price, but for RankMath, it is technically a free plugin with a pro option. So I will put it as 0. And for the currency, in the RankMath's pricing table, it is in USD, so I'll put it as USD. If the software you're reviewing is in another currency, you need to follow the ISO 4217 standard for the currency code. We have left the link to this page in the description, but it should be quite standard, and you should already know the currency code. It is widely used in the foreign exchange market. Now back to this, for the review, we should only take the overall score and include it in the rating field. Do not get mixed up with the aggregate rating schema. The aggregate rating schema is meant for user-generated ratings and not for the purpose of segregating reviews on different features. So for this case, it will be 4.5. And for the rating minimum and maximum, we recommend following what Google uses, which is 1 and 5. And that's basically it. Click on save, update your page, refresh the page, and now let's test our schema. Let's right click on a page, view page source, Ctrl A or Command A to select everything, and Ctrl C or Command C to copy, and let's go to Google's Rich Result Testing tool. Select code and paste the source code here, and let's test the code. And you will see we have the articles and review snippet getting a green check mark. But for the software apps, there are some warnings. If we click through it, we can see that the aggregate rating and the operating system are not present, but they are optional. Do not feel the need to add those missing fields if you don't think they are applicable, which in this case, these are not applicable. Aggregate rating is only if you're collecting user ratings on your review article. If you force these missing fields, you are doing more harm than good. Now, a course simply means educational content with a structured curriculum in a particular topic. Video tutorials on YouTube are not considered a course. If you're in the make money online niche, there are tons of courses out there for you to review. If your site is in the podcasting niche, there are courses like Pat Flynn's Power Up Podcasting course, which we'll be using as an example here. As you can see, this is a review on the Power Up Podcasting course. It has all these criteria which are individually rated, and then we have the overall rating. So to implement the course review schema on the WordPress blog editor, let's click on the RankMath tab and select schema over here, which is the third icon from the left. As you can see, by default, the article schema is present, but as I've mentioned in the previous 2 schema types, the free version of the RankMath only support 1 schema type. So if you were to add a new schema type, which is the course schema type, this article schema will be gone. So since we are writing a review article, which basically means an article, as well as it is a course review, we highly recommend that you have 2 schema types. But if you decide to have only 1 schema type, which is the course schema type, to get a star rating, Google may still be able to pick up your content as an article. But for us, we recommend that you have all the schemas that best represent your content. So for this case, we have the RankMath Pro installed, so we can add another schema type. Let's click on the schema generator, and the course schema is right here. Let's click on it. For the headline, this is a required field as it is marked with the red asterisk. Any fields that are not marked are optional. If you leave the field as it is, it will take whatever that you put here, which is the Power Up Podcasting Review Best Podcasting Course Ever. Now for the course review schema, we must not make the course title promotional. What you see here is promotional because of this Best Podcasting Course Ever. If you have a title like this, getting a star rating on your search result may not work. So to make this work, let's put the headline as Power Up Podcasting Review. That's it. Or you can make it less promotional, like my honest opinion. And obviously, whatever that you mark up must be consistent with whatever you have on the page. So this heading, we need to change it. Let's open up the course schema again. For the review location, since I already have the ratings over here, I do not actually need to display the snippet generated by RankMath that looks like this. So I'll keep this as custom. And as for the description, by default, if you haven't done any SEO adjustments to your website, this SEO description is adapted from the first paragraph of your article. But if you decide to change this, we recommend copying and pasting a paragraph from your article that describes the course. This is for consistency between the page content and the content that you're marking up. For the course provider, it should be an organization or a person. In this example, Pat Flynn is running the course under an organization called SPI Media LLC. So we want to copy this and we want to select organization and put in the course provider name. And for the course provider URL, we want to copy this course sales page and we want to paste it here. Now let's give the course a rating. And over here, we'll be selecting the overall rating. Now, as I've mentioned in the previous schema types, do not be confused by the aggregate rating schema. That schema type is not for you to add all these features in to have an aggregate rating. That schema is more for aggregating user-generated ratings. So for our case, if you have a different rating for each feature, you only want to take the overall rating and put it here. So this is 4.5. And as for the minimum and maximum rating, we recommend following Google's rating system, which is 1 and 5. And we are basically done. Let's save this schema and let's update the page. And then let's refresh this page and let's test our schema. Let's right click and view page source, Ctrl A or Command A to select all, and Ctrl C or Command C to copy. And let's go to Google Rich Results Testing 2, select code, right click and paste the source code, and let's test it. And you will see all these structured data having a green check mark. And as for the review snippets, this is what we need to get the star rating on the search result. And if we click through it, we will see the rating value here, which is what we have entered in RankMath. Now, in case you're getting any warnings here, because there are some missing items and they are optional, do not try to force any data into those fields if you think they are not relevant. You're actually doing more harm than good. But for this case, we have all that we need, so that's good. Now, let's say that I'm a Singaporean-based blogger and I hop onto events and talk about them on my blog. Recently, I went to a music event called Bay Beats and I really liked my experience there. So on my blog, I will click on the RankMath tab and select schema, which is the third icon from the left. Now, by default, the article schema is applied because technically this is an article and we need to add another schema type, which is the events, so that we can add data for the star rating. But as I've mentioned in the previous schema types, the free version of RankMath only supports one schema type. So if you add another schema, which is the event schema in this example, this article schema will be gone. But generally, Google may still be able to pick up your content as an article. But we highly recommend to have all the schema types onto the page to help search engines understand your content better. So in this example, we have installed the RankMath Pro. Let's click on the schema generator and let's search for events, which is right here. Let's click on it. Now for the headline, by default, if you leave this blank, this SEO title will take the information from Bay Beats review, My Amazing Experience, which is the heading of your article. If you're happy with it, you can just leave it blank. But if you want to take control of it, you can manually type in your heading. For example, just Bay Beats review. And for the review location, I will use the shortcode to display a snippet of the review generated by RankMath. I will show you how it works in a while. And as for the description, by default, if you haven't done any SEO adjustments, this SEO description is adapted from the first paragraph of your article. But the point of this description is for you to describe the event. So if the first paragraph of your article is not describing the event well, you may want to look through your article and see which paragraph describes the events most. You want to copy that and paste that paragraph here. Or you can just write up a description that best describes your event. This description will appear in the event reach snippet like this. And then for the event type, we have made it super easy for you to select an event type. These are recognized event types in the schema.org markup. And in this case, Bay Beats is a music event. As for the event status, because I went to Bay Beats on the first day and this event is still happening, so I'll put it as scheduled. But if, for example, you're writing a review on an event that was over, we will select none. But for this case, I'll put it as scheduled. As for the event attendance mode, RankMath is up to date with the current events, so we know that some events may happen online. But for this case, it is purely on venue, so we'll put it as offline. For the venue name, as you can see from the Bay Beats website, the venue is at Esplanade, so we'll put it as the Esplanade. And for the venue URL, we just copy this and paste it here. So basically, whatever information you have on the venue for that event, you want to copy that URL and paste it here. As for the address, I'll put in the street address, put in Singapore, the region is Singapore as well. This is the postal code and the country. And that's basically it. As for the performer information, if the performer is an organization, like maybe a band like Foo Fighters, you want to select organization and put in the name and the website URL. But if there are more performers, you will need more schema markup for this. And you will need the RankMath Pro to access this advanced editor. You can use the link below to get the Pro version of RankMath. Once RankMath Pro is installed on your site, click on the Advanced Editor, and it will ask if you want to convert to the Advanced Editor, because once you have converted, you will not be able to revert back to this simple editor unless you start all over again. With the Advanced Editor, you really need to know what you are doing. There are no options like this to help you out. So for now, if you have multiple performers, we will skip this part and complete all the other information before we head back to this and convert it to the Advanced Editor. Now for the event start date, I'll click on this and I'll basically select any date, as well as the timing just for an example. Alright, this is not the exact event date and time. Click this to close it back. Let's do the same thing for the end date. Let's say it ends on 30th of January and we are done. And then over here, you want to add the URL where people can buy tickets. For the Bay Beats event, it is free admission, so there is no URL. But you can add the event URL here. For the price, since it's free, we'll leave it blank. And the currency is in Singapore dollars, so it's SGD. Now, depending on your country code, we follow the ISO 4217 standard. But don't be confused by this ISO standard. These are currency codes that you commonly see and use on a daily basis. US dollars, USD, Australian dollars, AUD, Euro is EUR. And I'm pretty sure you know your country's currency code. We have left a link to this page if you want to verify your currency code. For availability, it will be in stock for our case since the event is still ongoing. But if I'm reviewing a past event, I'll put it as sold out. The price valid from, I'll put a start date of the event, or if your event accepts pre-order, you want to include that date. For the inventory level, since I'm not the event organizer, so I wouldn't know. And since it is free, I guess there is no inventory, so I'll leave it blank. And for the review, since I really like the event, I will give it a 4.8 out of 5. For the rating minimum and maximum, we recommend just following Google's star rating system, which is 1 and 5. Now, since we've added all the information we need, except for more performance, let's convert the simple editor to the advanced editor and click OK. And you will see all the information converted to the advanced editor. You see there are no radio buttons or drop down menus, so you really gotta know what you are doing in the advanced editor. If we go to the performer section, we need to add more performers, and from here you can see this is considered a group, so we want to duplicate group, and you'll see another Foo Fighters here. But let's remove this. Let's say the second performer is a band as well, and it is Maroon 5. Let's put the website here, and maybe we add another performer, and this time around this is a person and his name is Ed Sheeran. And this is his website. And let's say that we want to save this schema markup as a template to be used on other pages of the website. I'll just click Save Template and let's save this schema for the post. The next time you're on a new page or post and you want to use the same schema, click on Schema Generator and under your templates, you will see it here. Now, one more thing. Let's click on Edit Event. Remember, we need to hook the review snippet onto the page. And this is the short code. We need to copy this and let's see where we want to add it. Basically, if I want to add it here, just hit enter and Ctrl V or Command V to paste the shortcode here. Let's update this page. Let's refresh the page. This is the event snippet that is generated by RankMath. Now, the last thing we need to do is to test the schema. So let's right click, View Page Source, Ctrl A or Command A to select all, and Ctrl C or Command C to copy. Let's go to the Reach Results Testing tool, select code, and we want to paste the source code here. And let's test it. Now we will see 5 valid items, but some with warnings. But warning doesn't mean it is not valid. It just means that those missing items will not be displayed. What we need to get the star rating on search is this review snippets, which we have a green tick that shows it is valid. Now let's see what's the warning. So we have the offer price that is missing, which we have omitted because it is a free event. Basically, this missing field is optional. You can add the information if you have, but if you don't, do not force the information in the missing field. It will do more harm than good, because all we need to get the star rating is this review snippet, which we have given a 4.8 out of 5 stars. So we are good to go. Now, this will be my last example before we move forward to collecting user-generated ratings. In case you need a tutorial on the book or recipe schema, we have a very detailed written tutorial on them. We have left a link in the description. Now, for the movie schema, you need the RankMath Pro plugin before this schema template is available. And assuming that you have installed the RankMath Pro, let's click on the RankMath tab and select Schema. And over here, by default, the article schema is in use. And as I've mentioned in the previous schemas, the free version of RankMath only supports one schema type. So if you add, for example, the movie schema, this article schema will be gone. But in this case, if you can actually use the movie schema, it means that you're on RankMath Pro. So you can add multiple schema. So let's click on schema generator and let's search for movie, which is right here. Let's click on it. The movie name, if you leave it blank, it will take the information from the heading of your article, which is The Matrix Resurrections Best Movie of the Year. But over here is asking the movie name, so we don't want this Best Movie of the Year. It is just The Matrix Resurrections. The movie director is Lana Wachowski. The review location, you can display the review snippet that looks like this on either below content, above content, or both. Or you can choose to use the shortcode to display the snippet. I will show you how in a while. The date created, which is the movie release date, it was on December 22nd, 2021. As for the rating, I'll put 4.8. The minimum and maximum rating, we recommend to follow Google's rating system, which is 1 and 5. And we are done. The last thing is we want to add the shortcode for the review snippet. Let's copy this and let's save the schema. And now let's find a suitable location to add the review snippet. Let's say I'll put it right here. Let's hit enter and Ctrl V to paste the shortcode. Let's update this page and let's refresh, and as we scroll down, we will see this review snippet generated by RankMath. The last thing we need to do is to test the schema on our page. So on the page, let's right click and view page source, Ctrl A or Command A to select everything, and Ctrl C or Command C to copy. Let's head over to Google's Rich Result Testing tool and let's select code, and we want to paste the source code here and test it. And we have passed the 3 schema markups. But the important schema we need to get the star rating is the review snippets, where we have added the rating of 4.8. So we are good to go. Now, what I'm going to share here will be applicable for any schemas that we have discussed and talked about in this video. For the book schema, you could create a page to collect user rating. This is most suitable for a book club, or maybe the movie schema where you want to get an aggregated rating based on other people's opinion about the movie. Or it could be you are the event organizer and you want to display the star rating based on other people's vote for your event. But in this example, we will use the movie review article. Now, RankMath does not have the function to collect user ratings. And if you want that feature for free, we recommend you to use another plugin called WP Review. So let's go back to the WordPress dashboard, and over at plugins, we want to add new, and we want to search for WP Review. And this is the plugin we recommend. Let's install this and activate. Once installed, let's visit the Matrix Resurrection review again and let's refresh this. If we scroll down all the way to the bottom, we will see this review section here that is generated by the WP Review plugin. For the review type, let's select star. And for the review heading, let's say it is the Matrix Resurrection review. And for the review item schema, let's search for movie. For the movie title, let's copy this and paste it here. The movie description, I'll just copy a paragraph that best describes the movie and I'll paste it here. For the movie image, I'll select the Matrix Resurrection poster and we'll leave all these. For the date published, it was December 22nd, 2021. We'll leave the country. For the duration, it is 2 hours and 28 minutes. And for the author, it is me. I'm the one reviewing this movie. The director is Lana Wachowski. The actors are Keanu Reeves, Lawrence, and Jessica. 1 actor per line. So this is how you should display it. And as for the genre, it will be this, but 1 item per line. And the rating schema, we will select visitors aggregate rating because we want to allow your site visitors to rate this movie. Review item, for the location, I will put it at the top. For the description, I'll put in something like this. And as for the user reviews, I will select visitor rating only. And I'll choose the star rating type. And we are done. Now, as you can see, the reason WP Review is capturing so much data is because the plugin by itself will generate a schema markup specific to what you've selected, which is this movie schema. So we will not want to have duplicated schema markups. In our previous movie example, we have already a movie schema right here. So we want to delete this, otherwise there will be an issue in the rich results test. But anyway, let's see how the page looks like right now. So as you can see, the WP Review has generated this snippet and I've basically voted for this. But let's say I visit this page on a browser that I'm not logged in, I can actually cast my vote here. So let's select this and now we have 2 votes and I've bring the score from 4 to 4.5. And the last thing we need to do is to test the review schema. So let's right click and view page source. Let's hit Ctrl A or Command A to select everything and hit Ctrl C or Command C to copy everything as usual. And let's go to the testing tool, select code, paste the source code here, and let's test the code. And here we go. The important schema we need is this review snippet. And over here we got the aggregate rating. Now, if you run your e-commerce store or digital downloads on WooCommerce and you have RankMath installed, RankMath will take care of all the product schema for you. Let me walk you through an example. Now, before we move forward, we gotta make sure that WooCommerce is installed and the WooCommerce feature on RankMath is toggled on. I'm now on the pro version, but the free version will work just fine. Let's add a new product, give the product a name. Let's say it is Kids Automatic Toothbrush. Let's put in a description. Let's say it is this. Let's scroll down. Let's put in the price. Let's say the regular price is $99 and the sale price is $49. Click on inventory. Let's put in the SKU, assuming we have one, the GTIN, the global identifier, put in a short description, add a product image, and right at the bottom at the RankMath SEO section, select schema, and you will see that the WooCommerce product schema is added by default. Now, in case you don't see this WooCommerce product schema, under RankMath, go to titles and meta, and as you scroll down, under the products post type, you'll see the schema type option. You'll need to toggle this to WooCommerce product. If it happens that this is none, you will not see the WooCommerce product schema. Anyway, let's save this product by publishing it. And there's one more last thing we need to do, which is to make this product a brand. Let's go to RankMath and under the general settings and WooCommerce, let's scroll down and you'll see this select brand. Let us expand this. You can select one of these as the brand, but if you want this custom brand option where you can add your brand name, you will need RankMath Pro. But otherwise, you can select one of these options. Kids Automatic Toothbrush. And let's save changes. Let's visit the product page. And as you can see, nothing fancy here. And you will see there are no reviews yet. You can encourage your customers to give you a rating and a review. But let's say that we do not have any reviews yet. Let's see what happens when we test the schema. Let's right click and view page source. Let's Ctrl A or Command A to select all and Ctrl C or Command C to copy. Let's go to the testing tool, select code, right click and paste the source code. And let's test the code. Now, as you can see, the product schema is discovered, but it has warnings. So let's see what are the warnings. The aggregate rating is not here as well as the reviews. This is because we do not have any reviews yet. When we have reviews, these issues will be gone. Let me show you what I mean. Now, let's say that I have purchased this product and I really like it. The store owner invites me to add a review, and let's say I really love this, so I'll give this a 5-star rating and put in my review, put in my name, put in my email address, and hit submit. So as you can see, one review is present. Now let's test if the missing items are found. So let's right click, view page source, Ctrl A to select everything and Ctrl C to copy. Let's head back to the testing tool and let's test the page source again. And awesome, now we have this review snippet. If we click through it, we can see there's a review, and there is an aggregate rating, and this 5-star rating was given by my first customer. So when you're trying to get a star rating for your product, try to encourage your existing customers to give you a genuine review on your product page. That's how you are going to get a star rating on search engine. So technically, RankMath will take care of your review schema for your products, and there is no extra configuration necessary. Just add in whatever information you have on your product and RankMath will take care of the rest. Now, this will require the pro version of RankMath. Let's say that you are a tech reviewer and you saw that on the RankMath review keyword, this website is getting a star rating on search results. Why not just copy from a page where the star rating is visible? So let's go to the page and let's copy the URL of the page. Then go back to the post where you are targeting the same keyword, click on the RankMath tab, select schema and schema generator. And over at import, we have a couple of options, but we want to select this. And let's paste the page URL here and click import. And right here, you will see all the schema that is present on the page. This is a cool feature for reference. And if you are a little more technical, you can use this to your advantage. For this case, the page is using the product schema to get a star rating. I'm not saying that it is wrong, but we feel that the product schema is more for tangible products. We recommend using the software application schema instead. But as you can see, the star rating can still be achieved even when you have selected a schema that still makes sense. RankMath is still considered a product. But anyway, if you want to use this schema, just click on use and you can basically see all the data that they have included into their schema markup. And all you need to do is to change all this so that it will fit your website. Now, if you are on Elementor, the schema generator is right here at the top under SEO and the third icon from the left, which is the schema tab. The schema generator is right here. and it works the same as we have described in the blog editor. If you're on a classic editor, the schema generator is right below the content area under schema, and you will see the schema generator here. So I hope we have given you everything you need to know to get a star rating for your review article or products. If you still have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. We will try our very best to help you out. And if this video did provide value to you, please do us a little favor and smash that thumbs up button. It will really help our Rank Math channel grow, and we will consistently provide you with a ton of knowledge to help you beat your competitors on search engines. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel with bells on so our content will be delivered straight to your YouTube notification. This is Jack from Rank Math. I'll see you in the next video.